Greetings, citizens, and welcome to another adventure of the Real Comic Heroes podcast. My name is Travis Bowe from the Watchmen Minute podcast.
And I'm Patrick from the podcast you're currently listening to.
And I'm Dante from the podcast Play D&D.
Welcome, Dante.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So tell us what Play D&D is all about.
Yeah, so I Play D&D is essentially we take existing characters from movies, TV shows, comics, whatever, and kind of just take them on new adventures. So currently we're running a Guardians of the Galaxy campaign.
Huh. Cool.
Yeah. I kind of I was listening to a few D&D podcasts and realized nobody had really done that. And personally, I work better with something that's already existing. So okay. I was like, all right, why not do this?
Cool. So are the adventures Marvel universe based then?
No, not only.
Okay.
The first one was just Guardians because I thought that'd be fun to get a lot of people involved. But actually, on our Patreon, we have the first episode of a Batman series up.
Okay.
Not featuring Batman, but featuring Red Hood and Harley Quinn. So.
Okay.
Nice. And you bring other guests on and kind of voice cast or essentially they're playing the role of whichever characters. Yeah. Okay. Yeah,
I had Rory, which I think you guys had on. He's Star-Lord in the Guardians, and then if you know A Conversation With, Jason plays Red Hood, which is fitting because he's Jason Todd. I mean, love to have you guys on at some point. That'd be fun.
Well, I know nothing about D&D other than the idea of what it is. I've never played it, so
yeah. Well, the way I run it is I kind of deal with the maths and the minutia so that the players have more just freedom to role play. So
okay,
less intimidation.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah, I think my experiences with the movie E.T. There's a little D&D in there.
Yeah,
Stranger Things, and then Harmontown podcast. That has a bit of D&D-esque gaming at the end.
Yeah.
So I get the idea of point systems and the sort of create your own story element to it. Sounds cool. I just never got into it.
Yeah, a lot of RPG video games are built off a lot of the same mechanics.
Yeah, so I get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Right on.
Maybe we could do a Spaceballs episode. have Rory on.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
He's a big fan.
I'm out of town that weekend. Sorry, I'd love to be there, but yeah.
You can be there in spirit. That's all right.
Yeah, you could be Barf.
The whole movie's Barf.
Hate you so much.
I actually own a copy that I bought for $5 or less or something because I loved it when I was in middle school and watched it the first time. I haven't watched it since.
It holds up. All right, I got my Spaceballs talk in.
Okay, good. Got to get it out of the way.
Yep.
Well, that's not what we're here to talk about. So what we are going to talk about are the Comic-Con 2018 trailers for Aquaman, Shazam, and I keep wanting to say King Kong.
King of the Monsters.
Yeah, Godzilla, King of the Monsters. So let's get into some Aquaman talk.
All right.
My father was a lighthouse keeper. My mother was a queen. But life is a way of bringing people together.
We could unite our worlds one day.
Check it out. Arthur is talking to the fish.
They made me what I am. Permission to come aboard.
I've been looking for you. Your half-brother, King Orm, is about to declare war upon the surface world.
The only way to stop this war is for you to take your rightful place as king.
Trust me, I am no king.
You do your best thinking when you're not thinking at all.
That was the worst pep talk ever.
Might want to strap in. Welcome home.
My brother has come from the surface to challenge me for the throne.
I call it an ass whooping. I'm no leader. I came because I had no choice. I came to save my home and the people that I love.
You think you're unworthy to lead because you're of two different worlds. But that is exactly why you are worthy.
That was awesome.
The war is coming to the surface, and I'm bringing the wrath of the seven seas with me.
We're here.
What are you doing?
You should have a parachute.
Redheads! You gotta love them.
Sorry, it was hard for me to watch that trailer. I was just captivated by Aquaman himself.
Sure.
Yeah.
I did write down a major note that I am fairly confident that he has used that line where he enters the sub to woo potential partners in real life. Because he looked super sultry when he said it.
Oh,
and
yeah.
He had like that look over the shoulder, like "come hither."
He was eye fucking the camera.
Yeah, and permission to come aboard. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
He was seeing if any of the crew were interested before he took them out.
I was like, yes, please. So, just an insight.
Okay.
I
So that's
took that.
where you're coming from. Okay, that's
Yep.
good to know.
Yeah, I thought the visuals were really good. I mean, some of the CGI is not amazing, but I thought overall the visual style and the cinematography was really good. But I don't know how I'm feeling on the story so far.
Sure. I think like visually it reminds me a lot of Avatar.
Yeah.
The underwater stuff because it's like
Yeah.
everything's so vibrant and neon and like they're riding around on, various creatures and with sharks and seahorses and stuff. So I really dig the alien world, that they've constructed, under
absolutely.
our oceans. So I like that. I really dig that idea.
But is it an alien world if
Well,
it's in our ocean?
But you know what I mean. Alien is in foreign and unknown
Okay,
to
well-
us.
Sure, you don't like the unknown and porn people. I got it.
Right.
It's cool. No, I get what you're saying. Yeah, I had the same vibe, like with the what's that called? The luminescent vibe to it.
Yeah.
There's a specific name to it. That luminescent algae stuff, or the fish that are deep in the sea have that same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like how they embraced like the style of the buildings and everything is very much sea life. Like some of the buildings kind of look similar to jellyfish, and it's as a very like they didn't just go, "Hey, this is a city that's underwater,"
Sure. Yeah, they didn't do underwater city from Phantom Menace, because that's kind of one of. I mean, there aren't a ton of examples really to pull from, so.
Yeah.
I'm a little surprised. Like at the beginning, they, once it's in the aquarium and we see young Arthur, and I'm kind of surprised that they go with the talking to fish line in the trailer, since they've already used it in Justice League in the trailer and in the movie, and then even in the movie, Bruce Wayne he reiterates the do you talk to fish? Like he says it a second time then, like, so here it is again. It's kind of surprising that this line just keeps coming up. Like,
Yeah.
Let's move on a little bit from the joke of Aquaman just talks to fish.
It's like Warner Brothers just like, hey, by the way, he talks to fish.
Right.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
They have a bit of a complex about that joke, I think.
Yeah.
That's like the biggest gripe against Aquaman. And to be fair, he does not look like the Aquaman from Super Friends.
Sure. And the thing is like, they've already established that, like we've seen him now, got a brief look at him in Batman v Superman, and then, we got Justice League, and he was, I think, one of the standouts from Justice League. Everyone, at least that I talked to, was very pro Aquaman in that movie. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like they don't have to try too hard to make people like this guy, because like Jason Momoa is oozing like charm in this
Obviously,
trailer.
you got Patrick.
Yeah. I mean, he nailed one of the,
Got me from Jump Street. That was his entrance right there. I was like, count it. I'm good.
He feels kind of like the way the Dwayne Johnson started out with, at first he'd pop up in some movies here and there and became like a bit of an action star, and then people started to realize like how good of an actor he is and like how fun and funny and charming he is. I think that's kind of the route that Jason Momoa is kind of taking. So
yeah. Back to what you said though about like DC kind of like continually feeling that they have to prove that he's cool and interesting. I feel like part of that is just DC doesn't learn their lessons, and so the lesson that they didn't learn or mislearned here, I don't know if that's a word, is that that Aquaman is cool and interesting. Like, I feel like they haven't gotten the point that people are sold on this, and they just need to make a good movie.
Sure, yeah. And it could come from a little bit of the fact that this movie would have been in production, in the middle of Justice League or around.
That's true.
So some of it could just be like, we don't know everything that's going on the other side of the street, so we have to make our movie this way, and
Yeah, true. That's
so
true.
be it if they establish a few things over there. So I guess I hadn't really thought about that, but
I didn't either.
Yeah. And it's also, it's like that opening scene, it feels so much like the snake exhibit scene in Harry Potter.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not like my original thought. I've been seeing that other places online have been drawing that connection. So
I had the same thought when they had that crowd shot with the blast of energy or wave or whatever it was.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It reminded me of like Harry Potter, like one of the later movies, like sort of crowd reaction shots.
Okay.
What's funny is with that shot, I just saw it and I'm like, oh, those are CG people.
Yeah, they looked rubbery.
Yeah. But then like I just rewatched it like before this, and I watched it on the biggest screen I've seen it on, which is my laptop, because previously I was watching on my phone. And they look better, like more detailed once you see it like closer almost. So I don't know if that was a fault of the phone or maybe me just getting used to the bad CG, but
yeah, it was. I think that's kind of what made me think of like Goblet of Fire with Harry Potter, because it had that weird CG like transition period.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
that's probably what it was. That, and I was thinking of like that weird water effect that had in Goblet of Fire with the mer people.
Sure.
And I was wondering if they were doing a water Atlantis filter on those CG characters. And that's why it was looking a little bizarre to the eye. So I don't know. I didn't get enough look at it really. So it's going to be interesting once you see the whole movie.
I think one thing that's going to be interesting is seeing how people feel about how they filmed the underwater scenes, because really it's not that different. Like visually, it's really not that different from filming just normally, except everybody's kind of floating around and can propel themselves, and their hair is kind of floaty. So it's kind of weird because it almost looks normal, but then they swim more. I like the ripples that they have when like the weapons clash together and there's that wave of the water moving and everything. So, but I feel like it's going to take some getting used to for a lot of people.
The other note I had was that I'm wondering if this is going to be built a lot like Wonder Woman, where it's people from two different worlds, kind of. I guess he's all in one, but I'm hoping it's that short like origin sequence, because I did see a shot with like it looked like teenage looking Aquaman catching the trident.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping there's like a short sequence of the early years, and then it goes into like the main bad guy of that movie, kind of like Wonder Woman did.
I kind of had a similar note about. Yeah, I kind of hope that they do the Wonder Woman route too, and just kind of deal with the younger age up front and get it out of the way. And
Yeah, because they have the mom and dad scene too at the beginning.
sure.
Yeah.
And
Django
that
fights his
one,
dad. That's fun.
yeah, I could see that maybe getting sprinkled in throughout. Like maybe,
Sure.
if he doesn't know his, I don't know who his mother was, and maybe he finds out throughout the movie or something like that. But
Yeah, I feel like he must know something because like he's like what, like 6 and controlling sharks. So
yeah, that's true.
I mean, he might have figured something out. But one thing that I hope, like, so Wonder Woman's a good movie, but in my opinion, she doesn't grow a ton as a character over the film, and I might be wrong. Like that might be an unpopular opinion. But I hope that he actually grows in this film, because from the trailer it looks like he's pretty much the established like Justice League Aquaman, and I'm hoping that there is like a character arc and some growth.
Yeah, I see what you mean about like Wonder Woman not having that character growth. I think for her it comes more her disillusionment goes away a little bit more throughout the movie, and then till the end where she's she sees the quote unquote man's world for what it is and its flaws and all that, but then so that's, I think,
I can see that.
Yeah,
but like it's harder when somebody's already like an established hero and then they go on their adventure.
Sure.
It's kind of like the Superman complex where it's hard to do something with somebody who's already like basically a god.
Yeah. Kind of connecting to the Superman tie-in, I think this trailer does a good job of displaying his Aquaman's strength, and I think it's smart to show him underneath the water as if he's like the Superman of the ocean, because we basically see him flying at super speed and then like towards the submarine, and then we see him lifting the submarine, so I don't know if people fully understand how strong Aquaman is. Like he's not.
Yeah, hasn't he beaten Superman at just pure strength in the comics?
I'm sure he has. I haven't read a ton of Aquaman over the years, so I couldn't say definitively. But
I remember hearing that somewhere.
Yeah.
See, for me, I know jack squat about him, so I always thought he was only like strong around water.
Like he
pulled
draws
his
power
strength from the ocean.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I heard like recently because of like the Aquaman, I forget where, but like that's kind of like a common misconception, but that he's actually like just strength based. He's actually stronger than Superman. I
think it's a big part of it is the being able to withstand the pressure, being under the ocean. His biology, his body can withstand all that pressure. So on land, it's like he's nearly impervious to physical assaults or whatever. So
yeah, I think I remember actually that being part of like the explanation.
Yeah, but he's half human, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So shouldn't he be weaker than everyone else under the water? It seems like he hasn't spent a whole lot of time underwater.
It's fine. He's the king.
Okay. Yeah. It's the Blade trope. Like he has all of their strengths and none of their weaknesses,
Okay, so what I
guess the human looks in the fish people physiology.
So that watchtower guy and that his mom got busy with must have been a strong dude too. I'm guessing, because I mean, you'd think that the old man would dilute some of the genes a bit, but I guess it is kind of like.
And it could just be, his mother is the queen, and with this race of, I guess Atlanteans, like that royalty might carry some, biological weight to it. Like they might be stronger because they're royalty. So he could be stronger than all Atlanteans because he's the son of the queen. So I don't know if that's the case, but
yeah,
he could have.
He's got that half brother to deal with.
Yeah, and I don't know if they share. I guess they'd have to share the mother because
if they're actual half brothers.
Yeah.
It might be like a weird situation where they're only half brothers because they both have like a claim to the throne.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
It might also be some weird thing where it's like he got the Atlanteans like strength and resistance to pressure and stuff, but he just because you see him as like a teen, like working and training and everything, so it might just be that he just worked up a crap ton of strength.
Yeah. But I don't know if all of them have the same. Can all of them lift up a submarine? I feel like that's kind of unique to him for some reason, but
yeah,
I don't know.
It might be like a unique to royalty thing, like you were saying before. Like that might be why his brother is able to go toe to toe with him.
Oh yeah.
Or even why they're royalty in the first place is just because they're the stronger of the people.
Yeah.
So who's the red-haired lady?
That's Mira.
Mira?
Yeah.
Okay. Not familiar with her.
She becomes his wife in the comics a lot of the time.
Okay.
And she has a cool power like unique to her because I think it's like there's 7 kingdoms under the sea.
Yeah.
And she's from one of them, I think, and their race kind of have a separate set of powers. Like she can control water. I mean, and create weapons out of water and shapes and that kind of stuff, like almost like a Green Lantern, but with water.
Why did I think Aquaman could do that?
No.
I thought he could manipulate water at least. Like shoot jets of water or something.
Maybe by blowing air underwater, but not like actual...
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, not like actual water manipulation, no.
I must be thinking of another superhero somewhere.
He just gets some fish to spit water at people.
Yeah.
Patrick, did you watch either Young Justice? I think it was Young Justice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
With
they've got
Aqualad.
like... Yeah.
And he's got like
he
electric vibe powers. I don't know.
Okay. I thought he could control water as well.
Yeah, I think that might be what I'm thinking of.
He has these weird... I think it's through his handles. Because like he pulls the 2 handles off his back like swords, and then he can turn them into whatever like water weapon he wants.
Yeah.
So I think it's like through that.
Okay.
And he might be like another different race.
Yeah.
I'm superhero burnt out, I think. There's too much. It's all merging together into one.
Yeah.
I did have a superhero question.
Okay.
It falls in line with the superhero jump and landing that Deadpool mocks.
Yeah.
It's whatchamacallit, the Black Mana.
Oh yeah, I know what you're gonna
where
say.
He brings his arms up and then shoots them down and then shoots his laser eyes.
Yep.
I've seen that with Cyclops too, and I've always wondered why the hell that's the go-to move.
Gotta make it dramatic, man.
Yeah, it just looks cool as hell.
The only thing I could think of, it's a lot like pooping, and he's just getting pressure. He's really giving it hell.
Yeah.
Pushing that
like
beam out of his eyes.
If you were to see his face, he'd look super constipated.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I am super jazzed about the fact that Black Mana is in this movie, and that they gave him that goofy ass helmet that looks straight out of the comics, and I love it so much.
That's like literally about what I was about to say is that he's so comic booky, and I love it so much. Like one thing, if this film gets nothing else right, it got the weirdness of comic books and like just fully embraced it, and I'm all for that.
Yeah, and they haven't really shown it full on, but I feel like Ocean Master, I mean, Arthur's stepbrother Orm is Ocean Master, and he has a kind of a war helmet as well, and they've kind of hinted at it, like they've shown him like removing a helmet or having a helmet in his hands, and I think in one of the photos, like maybe he's got it there as well, but they haven't really shown a good clear photo of it. But I feel like that one's probably going to be equally as comic accurate, so I'm happy about that too.
Yeah, I think so, because he's got the weird like it's kind of like a bullet shape, but it's got like fins on the top or whatever.
Yeah,
if I remember correctly. Yeah, I think he'll probably have that, which would be awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just funny because we're so far removed from Cyclops joking about yellow spandex in the first X-Men movie back in 2000, and now we've got a Black Mana helmet, and I mean,
got
Shazam, and like there's people riding seahorses in this movie, and I just
awesome.
I love it so much. So
I feel like we needed that gradual lean into it from X-Men though, or else people would have been like, what the crap is this? What drugs were these people on? Get me some of that.
I was curious about we see him like in the desert, kind of at some point in this trailer, and I thought maybe they have to like retrieve some sort of, relic from a tomb and do some Indiana Jonesing about. And I thought maybe that's where they encounter Black Manta, because we see him blasting some kind of old, stone building apart. So I figure that might be probably second act. Like he arrives in Atlantis and then they tell him, oh, you have to get this, such and such. And so that takes them out to the desert, and then they'll come back in time to stop the war in the third act kind of thing. So,
yeah, I'm wondering if it'll be Poseidon's trident, because you see somebody, presumably Poseidon, in the trailer with the actual like 3-prong trident, like stabbing it down, but you don't see it anywhere else. And Aquaman's has like 5 or whatever. So I'm wondering if they have to like get that, and that like gives you control of the seas or something, or maybe it's like part of the kingship.
Yeah. I feel like I read the New 52 run of Aquaman, not the entire length of the series, but for quite a while, and I feel like there was some mission, or maybe it was a flashback, that he had to retrieve these artifacts that were from all the various kings or rulers of Atlantis, and one of them I think was the A that he wears on his belt, his symbol.
Oh yeah.
I feel like one of them was that as a relic, and he had to retrieve it and bring it back, or some had some like, only a king can wield this or possess it, that kind of thing. It's been a while. I mean, that series has been over for like, I don't know, at least that run has been done for several years, so I can't recall, but
yeah, well, they're pulling a lot from New 52 for Shazam, it seems. So they'll probably, if they're keeping with everybody else, they might be pulling from that as well. So who knows? Maybe he gets his super cool orange and green armor from that.
Yeah, I'd be all right with that.
It's super cool.
Well, in the trailer, because they had this trailer that they released to the public, but then they had the special trailer for the people at Comic-Con, and everybody said that at the end he has the classic armor. So
oh, nice.
We're getting it.
Cool.
Yeah. Super cool is not a word I'd use, but whatever.
At least it's comic booky,
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're gonna embrace everything else, you should probably embrace that too.
That's about all I've got on Aquaman. You guys got anything else to wrap it up on that one?
I'm gonna make a prediction.
Okay.
All right.
This is gonna be the plot of the movie. Black Manta is trying to find an ancient device that will flood the earth like it did during the Bible days, where Noah had to build his ark. That's my guess.
Okay.
Yeah. Seems legit.
There's going ancient like and that. Water, and that's what came to mind. So, we'll see.
My final thing is just I absolutely love that shot of them diving down with that red thing in Mara's hand while all the crustacean people like dive after them. That shot is beautiful.
That's
yeah.
Seems and to be the trench.
Yeah, because those are like the trench people or whatever.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, then. Let's stay with Warner Brothers, because they seem to be the only ones that put out any trailers this Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure Marvel's going to release something better later.
Yeah, there was
they tend to do that.
I'm literally trying to think of anything that's not Warner Brothers, and all I can think of is the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
I saw, oh wait, that was DC too, the Titans trailer thing.
Yep.
Man.
Yeah.
Geez.
Well, I guess that's not under Warner Brothers, because that was like for DC's own streaming service. Yeah. So technically, but still.
Poor Batman.
I love the memes of that. It's
Marry Green Lantern, kill whoever, fuck Batman.
Yeah. Well, I love the one where Robin says that and then Batman like slaps him. Like there have been some of those of the classic Batman slapping Robin.
Gotcha. Yeah.
He's like, not until you take me to dinner. Really funny.
Nice.
Anyway.
All right.
All right.
So we're gonna go to a film about a boy.
Yeah.
Another one.
It's called Big, Patrick.
I know. That's what Big, the comic book.
Yeah.
You've run from foster homes in 6 counties.
I can take care of myself.
When you're 18, give these people a chance, because that's what they're giving you.
This is Billy Batson. Make sure you make him feel at home.
They seem nice, but don't buy it. It gets real Game of Thrones around here. Dude, just messing around. You look at me and you're like, why so dark? You're a disabled foster kid. You've got it all. If you could have one superpower, what would you pick? Everybody chooses flight. You know why?
So they can fly away from this conversation?
No, because heroes fly.
What, you need your fake family to stand up for you? Hey! Man, sorry about that. Go, go, go! Grab it! Get out the way!
Billy Batson, I choose you as champion.
Hello?
Say my name so my powers may flow through you.
But I don't know your name, sir.
Shazam.
Wait, for real? Say, okay! Shazam?
This means Billy!
What is happening?
You're the only person I know that knows anything about this Cape Crusader stuff.
Can I?
Oh, yeah. That's crazy, right?
What are your superpowers?
Superpowers, dude? I don't even know how to pee in this thing.
AM to the PM, PM to the AM.
You have super strength.
Can
you fly?
If I quit your PM, I still rock Mercedes. If I quit this season, I still be the greatest.
You okay? Why are you talking?
Be humble. Sit down.
You know, I don't think that's gonna buff out.
Your phone's charged. Your phone's charged.
The hell?
You're like a bad guy, right?
Shazam!
Gentlemen!
You have bullet immunity.
I'm bulletproof. You're dead. Sorry about your window, but you're welcome for not getting robbed. Oh, hey, what's up? I'm a superhero.
Yeah, this one's got me utterly confused and not knowing what's going on.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is basically a story about a weird, creepy old guy in a subway that chooses a boy to, I guess, basically gives this boy a nuclear bomb button and says, don't push it. And then he's obviously going to immediately push it and cause some problems.
Huh.
That's where
I do have
going.
some confusion about the subway, but we'll get there.
Yeah. I don't know. So I didn't notice it the first time, but then kind of rewatching the trailer and then thinking of a lot of trailers now seem to be making use of these the jump cuts that follow along with the beats and the music.
Yeah.
So like they'll do the simple things of like someone's walking. We meet Billy, and then someone is like introducing him to his new home, foster home, and as they're walking through the living room or whatever, it just, cuts quickly just to move them through the space, much quicker. And like, I get it for a trailer. You want to, take out the unnecessary bits. And then they do the same thing with like the beats of the music. They'll, slide in the DC logo, the Warner Brothers logo, and it's just quick, rapid succession as they time it to the music, and it's, I feel like they did it a lot with Suicide Squad, probably a lot with Justice League. I mean, seems to be becoming a trend with trailers, and it's not necessarily a bad thing because, it keeps it moving, and
Yeah.
I don't know, but I definitely just noticed it here a lot.
It might just be DC.
It could be, yeah. It could just be if they're using the same trailer house. They could just have that, just a very firm style. I mean,
it's the auto tune of trailer making.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah. Or it might be Warner Brothers, because I think Godzilla kind of did that too.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I don't know. I mean, that doesn't really bother me a ton, but I get what you're saying. And like, if it's, I don't know, if it's cutting like too much, or like I get irritated when I can't actually see things. It just cuts before I actually get to register it. So
yeah.
I don't really know what to think of this movie.
Okay, so
I'm not on board so far.
Yeah. Had you ever heard of?
I've heard of him as like a part of Justice League, the animated series that was running in like the 2000s, the aughts.
Okay.
Late aughts.
Was he on that?
He was in it for a little bit. He was trying to keep a secret that he was he was really a boy.
Oh, okay.
And then they found out, of course. But he had like a couple small parts in it. But that's all I know him from.
Okay.
Yeah, that show was amazing.
Yeah.
They did this story in one of the animated movies as well. I think it was they did like a standalone.
Oh yeah,
I did see that.
Captain Marvel, or
was it like Shazam versus Superman or something?
I think that's what they called it, but it was really like Black Adam versus Shazam.
Yeah,
so.
I remember that. I don't remember exactly what the title was, but yeah, it was a few years ago.
And this one like really follows that new 52 release of Justice League that they did, because when they rebooted everything in 2011 and they came out with the new Justice League series, they would do like a backup story in the back of the comic. It was all about Shazam, Captain Marvel. And they essentially told this story. Like you'd get a few pages each issue continuing the story. So it took like a year to get like a complete, issue essentially. And they kind of told the story of this version of Billy Batson, like kind of being a troublemaker, because I guess before that, like Billy Batson was just a really good kid and really clean cut and all that. So that in 2011, when they updated everything, they kind of gave him the story of being a troubled youth and running from foster home to foster home, and being having a very uneasy relationship with his new foster family, that kind of thing, until he meets this family, and then, essentially around the same time falls into the mysticism of, essentially the same thing happens. He winds up on a subway line and then takes him to this old wizard, and then he gets the power. So it felt kind of weird, like watching the trailer, because it felt so familiar. Like I've seen this story, I've read this before. So it was kind of odd, but I kind of dug it,
Yeah. I was into it. I don't know a ton about Shazam, but I know like enough to kind of know, oh yeah, that's, this is how he gets his powers, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I'm kind of into the vibe. Like a lot of people feel like this is like, I don't know what DC fans necessarily want, because they don't want it so dark as like BVS, but they don't want it so light as like Shazam. But I like, the fun tone of it.
I do too. It's weird because like when I rewatched it, it begins so dark. Like they're talking about, that he's been in and out of foster care, and then you're dealing with bullies, and just like it starts out so dark, and then Zachary Levi shows up, and then the tone just does this dramatic tone shift that then it's just kind of fun, throughout the rest of it. And I think the kid, I don't know if they even say his name, his new
his
foster
friend.
brother, like they play off each other pretty well.
Yeah, the kid is a good actor, like enough to kind of hold his own, which is, I think, is good.
That's the part that made me think of Big.
Sure.
Tom Hanks and his childhood friend.
Yeah.
It's the same deal kind of going on.
Oh, yeah.
And the goofing around. So it showed all the goofy parts, but I'm interested to see what the main story turns into, like if it gets serious or if that Black Adam dude is part of this or not, and
Yeah.
Because from the story it's just story about discovering his powers, and that's pretty much all you get.
Well, we know that Mark Strong is cast as Dr. Sivana. He's the guy that, he's the bald guy, has like I think a scar across his eye, and he catches the punch, from Captain
Is that
Marvel.
who that is? Okay.
Yeah, his name's Dr. Sivana, and from what little I know of Captain Marvel, like that's his main bad guy, aside from Black Adam. And like years and years ago, when DC was kind of building this, their cinematic universe, they cast Dwayne Johnson as Black Adam. So everyone was hyped about, they're making a Black Adam movie, and who's going to play, Captain Marvel and all that. And as far as I know, Dwayne Johnson is still set.
Yeah.
He's still cast as Black Adam. So maybe it wouldn't surprise me if he shows up as a maybe a post credits kind of sting at the end of the movie, showing him, now that there's a new Captain Marvel, maybe now it's time for me to get the power back, kind of thing. Or
I think it's confirmed that he's still going to be Black Adam, but they've been saying that he won't be in this.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are like, that's bull. Like he'll be in the post-credits scene. But apparently that Black Adam movie is still in the works, which seems like the bad decisions they were making before. So I don't know.
Right. Yeah, that one always seemed weird.
Like just make it a Shazam 2, because Zachary Levi is really lovable. Like it's even just in this trailer. Like, and if Shazam does well, just make it a Shazam 2 and make him the bad guy.
Right.
And you can still give him the arc you were going to give him in his own movie, but just why make it his?
Yeah. Well, I don't get the urge to make a villain movie. I mean, because Black Adam should be a villain. I mean, I think he's kind of I don't know enough.
Is he a villain
him.
or is he a character?
Yeah, I tend to think of him as a villain, but I think maybe he's more of he wants what's best for his people kind of thing. So I don't know. I don't know enough about him to really.
Yeah, I don't know either. I just know he's anti-Shazam.
Yeah.
Like every villain is to the hero, almost every villain.
Yeah.
So, what did you guys think of the suit?
I wanted to talk about that too.
I like it, man. A lot of people don't. Specifically, like some of my friends who do a podcast similar to just talking about this stuff, but like they all hate it. But I'm like, nah, man, this looks great.
Yeah, I agree. I love it. I love that it's got the bright colors. It's got the old-fashioned style cape. They didn't go completely old-fashioned with the cape, because the original Captain Marvel had like a shoulder cape. Like it looked, and it was really short. I mean, it might start at like his shoulders and go down to, his belt. I mean, so it's really tiny and silly, and it kind of sits off to one side. And then I know with the New 52 with that reboot, they kind of gave him this new cape that's kind of similar, but it also can kind of act like a hoodie. Like it has a hood that he can pull up over it, So
it looks like he has that hood in there.
Yeah, I think so.
Because he's wearing it when he goes up against the window.
Yeah. My only kind of downside is I think that they're doing this too much with these super suits is the 3D texture that they kind of give everything, with the new Superman suit. It's got like, Kryptonian language all over the suit, which I dig it when it's in the S, on his chest, but then like the suit itself has like a texture.
Yeah.
That kind of started with Superman Returns. That suit was covered in like the diamond shaped, little shield. So
yeah. Does Shazam have a texture? Because I thought his looked really smooth. Besides
really?
like the parts that pop out, but I might I didn't get like a really close look at it.
I feel like it has a texture. Yeah.
Okay. Then I'm kind of tired of it too. Yeah. I was just I was in the dark.
But then like on the flip side, like I don't think you want these guys looking like they're in a smooth wetsuit, because that just takes me back to seeing the photos of Nicolas Cage as Superman, where it was like a shiny, smooth, black or blue suit. So it needs some kind of texture, but I don't think it's like all this 3D printed texture that I just don't think works.
Personally, I thought like Shazam's looked like almost like cotton, almost like it had like the texture of like a shirt to me.
Yeah.
Like, but I could be wrong, but like to me it looked like it had like the texture of some of those like smoother shirts that are like a little more like fitness.
I thought it looked like a kid's Halloween costume with the fake muscles. Like it's kind of distracting how like super buff Zachary Levi looks.
Yeah.
Like I think it's because I know him as Chuck.
Mm-hmm.
And I know he doesn't look anything like that.
I mean, it's not far off. Like he put on some serious muscle for this.
Yeah, he did a Henry Cavill.
Because it looked distracting to me. Like,
yeah, he did a Henry Cavill for Man of Steel where he got real buff.
It was weird. I didn't like it.
Part of the reason that I totally bought it too is I've never actually seen him in anything else. So I'm just like, okay, yeah, that's him. That's his body type.
Yeah, no, not at all. He's like a
I could see him as like
geek.
Yeah, I could see him as a really skinny guy though. Like he has like the face proportions that kind of work for that. But no, yeah, I think there might be a little padding, but I'm pretty sure it was said that he bulked up a lot.
Yeah, there's definitely some padding because you can see like with his because he still has a skinny neck, and it definitely looks like that neck does not belong on a super buff guy. So they've definitely got some padding going on, but I do feel like, I've seen pictures of him, here in the last couple of years or year of him bulking up for the role. So
I like how he acts too. Like he's really fun in the role. So even if like he doesn't look perfect, I feel like that makes up for it.
Yeah, he's got the innocent, childlike vibe to him.
Yeah, and he looks like he's having a blast.
Yeah, that's probably the best part of it. But I legit thought that the article I saw with him in the suit was a prank. It completely threw me off. Wow. So I think maybe that's more just me.
Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty divisive, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think I'd see this in the theater, honestly. I'd probably just wait.
I want to see it. If trailer number 2 with hopefully more story throws me off, maybe I won't. I'm not like set on it. But if the next trailer or 2 is good as well, I'll go see it.
So you've mentioned Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
So
I was wondering if you.
I thought Captain Marvel was a movie coming out with that lady. Or is that Miss Marvel?
It is.
It is.
Okay.
So
this sucks.
Yeah.
I don't understand this stuff.
Confusing.
So back in the olden times, Captain Marvel was a character created by Fawcett Comics. They wanted to make a character that was basically their version of Superman. And then DC bought Fawcett Comics. And so now they had 2 characters that were basically the same. Kind of looked the same, had very similar powers, different origins completely, but, they look very, very similar.
Mm-hmm.
And so years and years later, Marvel Comics, is established and all that, and they have a Captain Marvel. And for whatever reason, I feel like...
I think they tried to sue him. Like Marvel got mad at DC for using the name Marvel, both because they were Marvel Comics and because of Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
And I think DC got in trouble, and so they had to change it.
Yeah. So they couldn't... basically then the title of the comic book became Shazam, but the character has always been Captain Marvel. So really, his name is not Shazam. That's just his catchphrase, That's just how he gets his power. Actually, the wizard that we see, in the subway
his name is Shazam, right?
Yeah, he is Shazam.
God.
So
it's like... Sorry, go ahead.
I am curious if they'll even call him Captain Marvel because, Marvel has a movie coming out next year also called Captain Marvel. So I don't know how they're going to get around this. Either they're going to call him Shazam and essentially be inaccurate, or they'll call him Captain Marvel a few times as a joke. Maybe the kid sidekick will say, "What do I call you, Captain Marvel?" You know, so they might treat it like a joke. I don't know how they're going to do it, but
I doubt they'll call him that because they would get in major trouble from Disney.
See, I don't think they can get in trouble because the character's named that. They just can't title their movie that, or
maybe not. But more, I just meant like Disney would get really pissed at them.
Yeah.
Like, I think they'll probably either call him Shazam, like that'll be his name, like the wizard will pass like the name to him, or everybody in the world will call him Shazam just because that's what he says.
Sure.
And they'll probably just pass it off like that. But I think 100% there will be a joke of like, what do I call you, Captain Marvel?
Right.
Oh, so confusing.
Yeah, I mean,
let's just call him Kazam.
Kazam.
Even just within Marvel Comics, there's confusion as to Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Because there's Captain Marvel and Captain Marvel.
Yep. And then there's Miss Marvel.
Yeah, they need a thesaurus. Good Lord.
Yeah.
Encyclopedia.
Okay. That makes sense then, in a weird way.
Quick little notes I had were I smiled when I hear, when he's on the subway and then you hear Billy Batson, "I choose you." And then I just want to see him like throw a Pokeball like across the screen.
Okay, so I feel like this is an appropriate time to bring up my confusion about the subway.
Okay.
So my question is, are all the people on that bus with him there? Because I think no, but at the same time, the bus is there at the wizard's place, and he travels there on the bus. So I'm really confused as to what happened to those people. Like, did the wizard just make a duplicate bus that ended up in his dimension, or did he like pause time for the other people? Because in the other shots where it's in like the frozen over land or whatever, you don't see any other people in the bus. So like, I'm just wondering what happened to them.
He's a wizard.
Yeah.
That's all you could say.
If I had to pick like a definitive, reason, or explanation, I think I would say he froze time enough to make Billy, essentially time travel. Like maybe he passes out or he blinks and then suddenly the train car is at its destination. Everyone else has gotten off the train by now. They've hit all their stops. They've gotten off, and he's just a weird kid who's sleeping on the train.
Okay, yeah. And I get that we probably won't get an explanation, and we don't really need one.
Yeah.
I just like, it was just like, what? Okay. It was more just like, I'm confused by this.
Sure.
The implications of this.
I'm going Harry Potter on this. There's a magical seat that's like in a pocket universe with another cart. Like
Billy tries to sit down on one, and then this wizard's like, no, sit on this one.
It's magic. Nobody knows how it works. It just works.
Yeah, so overall, like for me, this one, I realized by the end of the trailer, I had a smile on my face. Basically, once Zachary Levi shows up, I just had a stupid grin on my face the rest of the trailer because it was just a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to this one. I think I think my wife and I would go see this one in theater. I think she's a big fan of him. And same with Aquaman. Like she's really taken by, this Jason Momoa as Aquaman, so
she's taken by him.
Yeah.
One criticism that I've heard that I want to talk about is the distinction between Billy and Zachary Levi, Shazam.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of people have been saying there's a disconnect there, but I wanted to point out that, and essentially paint a picture. So imagine that you, all of a sudden, when you say the name, Shazam, you get the powers of Superman. I feel like all the child joy would just like immediately come out of like, oh my gosh, I can fly,
Yeah.
So I feel like that disconnect is more just like his just childlike wonder just coming out because he has superpowers.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I almost feel bad for whoever the kid is playing Billy, like, because, like I said, once Zachary Levi shows up, this trailer becomes a lot of fun. So I feel like the movie's probably gonna have the same kind of feeling, and it's like anyone who's ever played the Hulk, you know. We just we're just waiting until the Hulk shows up. We don't care about the guy playing the Hulk, you know. Same with this kid. Like, I feel bad, you know. I don't know the kid's name. I think I've seen him in anything. I don't care really who he is. I just want to see Zachary Levi, you know, running around in that big red costume. So
yeah.
But with Bruce Banner, it's fun trying to figure out how he's going to get real angry.
Sure. That's a secret.
This kid just yells Shazam at a moment's notice. Who cares?
Mark Ruffalo's done a really good job of having...
Yeah.
Or I guess it's not him, but the directors with him have done a really good job of having him be interesting. But I totally get what you're saying.
Yeah. Speaking of, like, just saying Shazam, that's probably the best moment of the trailer is when the kid is walking and says Shazam, and then suddenly, like, Captain Marvel walks out of the smoke, you know, and looks like he's about to beat some ass.
And lightning strikes.
Yeah, like, that's a great trailer moment, so.
Yeah. And I'm totally okay with them not showing the transformation. Like, please don't. Like, don't make it a Hulk thing where he, like, grows or whatever. Even though, like, in continuity, like, as Shazam, it's just Billy Batson in his prime.
Right.
I still just, like, you don't need to show that. Just the lightning bolt is amazing and comic book accurate, so.
Yeah, I don't think they're really, at least from what little I know about Captain Marvel, like, I don't think there is, like, a transformation. I mean, it is essentially as quick as a lightning strike, he's changes instantaneously.
I just wouldn't put anything past Warner Brothers.
Oh yeah. The one, like, thing, the cringeworthy, like, moment in the trailer is during the convenience store scene, and he gets shot, and the kid says, "You have bullet immunity," and that's not a thing. Like, no one's
Who says bullet immunity?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I've never heard those two words put together, and it sounds just so weird.
Exactly what I thought. I was actually, before I was thinking about bringing that up, I'm like, this is the stupidest thing.
Yeah. I'm glad his response is like, I'm bulletproof, you know, because that's
I'm bullet immune.
That is, yeah.
I like that bullets are now like a disease that you can be immune to.
I wrote down a specific question because I knew you were the D&D man, thinking this was like a D&D term. I was thinking a character could have a bullet immunity of 24 or something.
Yeah, no, that's just...
So I was wondering if that's what it was from.
No, actually, it's the closest thing would be like deflection, because in D&D a lot of times it's medieval times, so it'll be like arrows or whatever. And so if you can deflect, it'll be deflection, but it's not immunity.
Oh, man.
I don't know that there's anything immunity in D&D.
Yeah, you should start that 24 immunity so you're kind of bulletproof, but not really.
Yeah, I'll give him I'll give him bullet vaccine shots.
Okay. No, it totally sounded like a D&D kind of phrase to me.
Yeah,
so
100%.
All right.
Yeah.
Anything else on Shazam, Mr. Captain, Mrs. Marvel?
I think I hit all my notes.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Looks fun.
Yeah.
On to Godzilla, King of the Monsters.
Our world is changing. The mass extinction we feared has already begun, and we are the cause. We are the infection. But like all living organisms, the Earth unleashed a fever to fight this infection. Its original and rightful rulers, the Titans. For thousands of years, these creatures have remained in hiding around the world. And unless all the Titans are found, our planet will perish, and so will we. They are the only guarantee that life will carry on.
with the king.
So, the mistaken Stranger Things 3 trailer I thought I was watching.
Yeah, definitely some strong Stranger Things vibes coming off this trailer.
She's got that same look to her where she's like kind of possessed.
Yeah.
Like that in her eye.
I'm wondering if like that's her acting type, like if she'll be
That's what I was
typecast
thinking.
as that kind of a role from now on.
Oh, yeah,
I am glad
yeah.
she's getting into something bigger though.
Yeah, the first, I don't even know however long it takes, in this trailer for, you see her up on the roof and she's reacting to the buildings kind of all coming down, and then she runs into the I guess the stairwell or whatever. That whole little segment to me felt like kind of like a dream sequence, maybe.
Yeah.
Like maybe she's seeing a premonition or a vision.
Was that the buildings falling down? Because I thought that was just like a cloud.
I mean, to me, it looked like
thought
the
it was
buildings
debris.
were coming
Yeah,
down.
that's
Yeah.
what I thought too.
Okay.
And especially later in the trailer, you see it's one of the flying monsters is flying overhead, and all the buildings like in its wake just get wiped out. So
Yeah,
this trailer, like they have the balls to like show just cities getting completely trashed, which is appropriate for a Godzilla movie, but you don't. I come away from this trailer with the feeling that Earth is just trashed. Like the major cities have already been destroyed.
The whole point of the trailer is like she. I don't know who the actress is, but she's all like, we're a disease and Earth has made immunities or whatever to fight off our infection, and then you just see cities being destroyed, and it's like, yeah, they're getting rid of humans. We're the problem.
It's Vera Farmiga is that actress's name. And
okay.
They really make it seem like she's the villain of the movie.
Yeah.
Well, I couldn't understand why they're waking the Titans or gathering them to save anything.
Yeah, I
feel like that's why she's the villain of the movie.
Yeah.
Basically, it sounded like, you idiot, what did you do?
Yeah.
And I had the same question.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know how waking up these Titans. That's a new. I like that they call them
it, though.
Titans. Yeah.
I don't know a ton about Godzilla and the Godzillaverse, but as far as I know, they've never been called Titans.
Yeah, I actually had to
either. Yeah. In breakdowns and stuff, in another podcast, I had to listen to find out who all these monsters were.
Okay.
Besides, like Godzilla and Mothra.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I got. There was another cameo from Lannister from.
Oh yeah.
Game of Thrones with a cheesy "Hail the King" or whatever he said.
Yeah, long live the king.
Long live
hail,
the king.
hail the king. One of those.
Yeah. I will say this. This trailer again, though, looked amazing.
Sure.
I do. Somebody else pointed out that everything's kind of in smoke, and I do hope everything's not all in smoke. Because a large part of the trailer, all the monsters are covered in smoke, and so it's possibly to help with the CGI and the believability. So I hope the whole movie isn't like that, but it does look really, really beautiful.
Yeah.
Just like the shots of Mothra when it spread its wings and Godzilla doing his atomic breath. And
so good. Yeah, like they do a good job of, dropping out the audio and just playing up the score, because which
was amazing.
Yeah. And that shot of, so we see Godzilla and he does his atomic breath straight up into the sky. And when you get a nice big wide shot of Godzilla and like there looks like there's a baby bump a little bit when you get that full on, almost a profile, like side view as Godzilla's,
So it's like the Broderick Godzilla that was laying in.
I mean, I don't know. They could be, leading to Son of Godzilla or whatever, like some of the old movies kind of did.
Yeah.
So maybe, but
I'm just wondering how anyone survives this. Like literally anyone.
Right.
Like unless you've made a fallout shelter, how do you survive this?
I kept waiting for the Pacific Rim robots to show up.
Gypsy Danger.
Yeah.
Because that's the only way I could see anything working out.
Yeah.
It's the crossover everybody wanted.
Yeah. It's all in the same studio. So
Yeah. I do, but I really like how many monsters they're bringing in.
Oh, yeah.
It is a little weird that this is before Godzilla and versus Kong, because a few people have said that this seems like from this it seems like Kong versus Godzilla would be like a step down after having you have Mothra, you have Gohodri and the three-headed dragon thing.
Yeah, Ghidorah.
And you have Rodan, Ghidorah, that's what it is, and then you have Rodan, the dinosaur.
Yeah.
It just it seems like a lot of people are saying that it seems like this is kind of a bigger film than that will be, but who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah, they jumped the shark on this one, I think.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to see Sharktopus in this.
What film studio has the Meg?
Yeah.
That's Warner Brothers.
Is it?
I'm like 94% sure.
I think you're right.
There you go.
Yeah.
I get a real. Did you guys ever see any of the old Godzilla movies with the creepy little psychic twins, the Japanese twins that could call to Mothra?
No, but I've heard a lot about them.
Oh man, it is weird, and I think that's what they're doing with
Millie Bobby Brown.
Millie Bobby Brown, yeah. I think she has a psychic.
A lot of people are thinking that.
Yeah. Psychic link to at least to Mothra. I don't know about if she's got it to all of them, but
I feel like out of any
face, so
I feel like out of any of them, like probably Mothra because you see her meeting Mothra, but maybe Godzilla too.
Yeah,
I doubt she has it to Rodan and Gohedra.
Ghidorah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm really struggling with that one.
Yeah.
Call him Tetrahedron.
Yeah. And I don't know, if Godzilla in 2014, they only showed Godzilla, and then I think the very last trailer showed, some kind of other monster, and it had wings and it flew and everything, and then a lot of speculation then that was Rodan, and it just turns out to just be, generic monster. So I don't know if these guys are, if it's Godzilla and Rodan and Ghidorah and Mothra fighting generic monsters that we haven't seen yet, or if it's Godzilla versus all of these other monsters,
Yeah, or a free-for-all.
Yeah, it could just be, yeah.
Well, the title makes me think they're going after the king.
Sure.
I guess that's how you prove you're king of the monsters, by beating all the monsters.
Yeah. I'm just, I'm really still confused by how anyone thought that bringing these Titans back would be a good idea. Because in the trailer, the music swells when he does the atomic breath, and it's really beautiful, and it seems awesome, but it's like, that is atomic breath?
Yeah.
Isn't that destructive?
Right. Fallout.
The ozone's not going to be happy about that.
This is all of a sudden the Fallout averse.
Man.
Yeah, I the only thing I could think of is that only with the combined power of the Titans could they take Godzilla down. But then what the hell do you do with the Titans after that?
Yeah.
Well, because I actually haven't seen any of these films. I know a decent amount about them. And I've been meaning to see Godzilla and Kong Skull Island. But does Godzilla, end up just free? Out and about?
Yeah, just fucks off back into the ocean at the end of the movie.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Because because that could be a thing where it's well, he's a danger, so we need to get the rest of them to beat him down. But then nobody thinks about, what about once Godzilla's down?
Yeah.
Or what if he wins?
I was going to say, that makes me wonder if those Titans / Godzilla are not the immune system from the Earth. Because it makes it seem like they are, but maybe that's not the case. Maybe there's something else that the Earth has spewed forth, and they need the Titans to take care of.
And it's kind of what they do in King Kong. They have, you meet Kong, and then you find out that out of this kind of the deep within the Earth, there's these big lizard type creatures that they're the ones that you should be afraid of. So
yeah. I was going to ask about those lizard things in Skull Island.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell from the trailer.
Yeah. I will say that I'd be shocked if Ken Watanabe appears in more than like one or two scenes in this movie. Like he was in the first movie. He's the one that says, "Let them fight." And then he appears in this trailer, like wearing a hazmat suit. And the 2 or 3 times we see him, it's just in that hazmat suit. So I'm guessing he gets killed probably like when we first meet one of the other monsters. I'm betting he kind of discovers another monster and then gets killed or something. So
my guess would be either Mothra or Ghidorah.
Yeah.
Because you see Ghidorah frozen, I guess.
Yeah.
And then you see Millie Bobby Brown meet Mothra. So I'd guess probably one of those.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks really good.
Yeah.
Like visually, it looks good, and who knows how it'll be, but here's hoping.
Yeah. Do we think that King Kong shows up anywhere in the movie? End of the
maybe the end
Yeah.
or post credits if they have post credits.
Yeah, I can see that.
Well, they got to tease Godzilla versus Kong, which is the
Right.
next one. So
Yeah.
Yeah, and if he's not a Titan, I don't know who is.
Yeah.
yeah.
Although by scale, isn't he like a midget compared to Godzilla?
No, because they had a little clever line of dialogue of saying, "Oh, he's a baby still," or "He's still growing," or basically alluding to the fact that he's still growing. And because he's much smaller than Godzilla is, but that was also set in the 70s, so he's had. If it's the same exact one that we saw in Skull Island, then he's had nearly 40 years to grow.
His awkward puberty years.
That was something that I was wondering too. Is he's really small?
Yeah,
like he's big, but he's really small.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if I remember, his hand is about the size of a chopper, a little bigger.
Right. Yeah.
And Godzilla's way the hell bigger than that.
It would be pretty funny to see a little Kong climbing around on Godzilla.
Yeah. Riding his back and just beating the shit out of him.
I feel like that would be like easier to take Godzilla down like that than to fight him size.
Oh yeah,
equal.
Yeah. I think that's the challenge that they'll have with when they do meet up is that they establish both of them as good guys, in quotes, and so you don't want to see either of them kill the other, which makes me feel like they'll fight in the first half of the movie, and then they'll have to team up against something else. So it's just Batman v Superman all over again.
Yeah. One of them will say Martha, and it'll be like, it'll be good.
Yeah, or it's just like any comic book ever made where the two heroes meet, they have to fight at first, and then they have to realize that they're not enemies. So
yeah. But it kind of makes more sense in this situation, though, because they're not... I mean, I guess they're intelligent, but they can't, communicate.
Sure. Yeah,
Whereas Batman v Superman could just have a conversation.
Yeah, well... You'd hope, but they didn't.
Yeah.
No, I know.
They got animal instinct. They know what's going on.
Yeah.
Protection instinct or whatever.
Yeah. Or the frick, I just forgot it. The male dominance.
Yeah, like alpha.
Alpha, that was what it is. Yeah, the alpha instinct.
Yeah.
We'll just sniff each other's butts, call it a day.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
We'll get some atomic farts to the face.
You're giving sci-fi too many ideas.
Yeah.
It's probably happened in one of the many Godzilla films.
Probably.
I remember hearing forever ago about Godzilla versus Jesus, and I want to watch that.
Jeez.
I don't know that one.
I've heard about it, somewhere, because I know my friend was saying that, Japan just made a crap ton of these.
Yeah.
And then somewhere down the line, they made a deal where for every Godzilla film that we make, they can make one. And so they have a back catalog of a bunch of these that they've made, and they're just waiting for us to put the next one out.
Nice. Well, I did see Shin Godzilla last year, and it is so good. It was. It's one of these that was produced. Is a Toho production, and it is amazing. So,
check that out.
Yeah. I want to watch the 2-part one that's on Netflix.
Yeah, I've seen the first part of that. It's a totally different.
Is it animated?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
it's like an anime. It's I've heard it's a completely different take.
Yeah. It's future.
Okay.
So it's a different.
I thought it was a series.
Animal.
I didn't realize it was a 2-part thing.
Yeah, it's a mini series.
Okay.
Yeah, they did a big essentially a movie that was considered part 1. It's an hour and a half or something.
Yeah.
And then they just released the 2. I mean to see it, but I want to 2014 first. So
Yeah.
I have like normal Godzilla in my mind before I see a variation.
I recently just watched the original Godzilla. It's actually also called Godzilla King of the Monsters. It's from 1954, and it's pretty good. Technically, I watched they did an American remake where they added an American character and then a couple other like additional scenes to make the American character make sense. So that way the entire movie wasn't just dubbed, just from the Japanese or whatever. But yeah, it's also pretty good. So I think I'm gonna try to go through some of the old Godzilla stuff.
Yeah,
just here and there, just try and watch some of them. So
definitely check out Versus Jesus.
Yeah,
I have no idea when that was, or if it even exists. But I heard about it years ago.
Sure.
Yeah, I probably won't go see this in the theater either.
Okay.
I want to say that I will, but given that there's a lot of comic book movies, those usually take precedent.
Same here.
And also given the fact that I haven't seen 2014 or Kong Skull Island yet, and I want to get to them, but realistically, I probably won't.
Yeah.
So I'll probably wait for a bit.
Yeah, I saw Godzilla in theater, when it came out, and then I didn't catch Skull Island. I saw it once it was, home release or whatever. So yeah, I could see waiting for this one. It definitely looks good, and I do want to see it, but I honestly I don't even know when this one's coming out. So
I think it's near the Christmas release date.
Okay.
Or November or something
of this year.
Yeah, there's a lot coming out in November to Christmas.
Yeah, so this one probably I'll wait to see.
Yeah, maybe I'll aim to catch up on all three of these leading up to versus Kong.
Oh yeah,
and then I'll see that in theaters. So
yeah, because that should be a nice big, big epic kind of thing. So yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else on King of the Monsters?
No.
Hope it's good.
Yeah. All right. I think that's going to do it for us. Dante, tell our listeners, where they can find you and, plug your stuff again.
Yeah. So you can find my podcast, Play D&D, facebook.com/PlayDNDpod, or at Play D&D Pod on Twitter and Instagram. Those are the ones. And from there, you can get links to our iTunes and Patreon and all that stuff. So
very cool.
Very cool. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks again for answering the call when I reached out to the podcasting mates Facebook group, and
absolutely.
Glad you were game to join us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Love to come on again in the future.
Yeah, we'll have to get you on a real episode, reviewing a movie. So
yeah, that'd be fun.
Cool. Patrick, you got anything else?
No. Can't wait for another round of more freaking superhero movies.
Oh yeah.
Am I the only one getting burnt out by them? There's just so many.
I'm still all in with Marvel, but I'm getting a little. Well, I mean, I'm kind of revived with Shazam, but I'm getting a little burnt with DC. So
yeah,
they seem to be changing their direction, a little bit. So
yeah, so I'm game to see what they'll do, but after Suicide Squad and specifically with Justice League, I didn't see that, and I still haven't. I want to, but not because I think it's good. But I was burnt out then, so. Gotcha. But this new direction is interesting, so we'll see.
Yeah, cool.
All right, yeah. Well, yeah, that should do it for us. And let's see, you can find us all over the social medias at Real Comic Heroes. Subscribe to us on iTunes or whatever podcast app you use. Just search for us, you'll find us. Obviously, you're listening to us now.
Yeah, look at what you're playing this on.
Yeah, and then just continue to do that.
Hard.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think that'll do it. And we will talk to you soon.
Stay safe, citizens. So help me, if you get in trouble again, I'm not going to bail you out.
So that's going to do it for this episode. And it might be a little while before you hear us again because someone decided to buy a new house and get their current house ready to sell and move into the new house. And stuff like that
Good.
coming up.
And go to the Minute Podcast Convention in Colorado.
Yep, and so one of us are being a real jerk with their time. So
yep, Travis is taking a adult hiatus.
Yep, it's time
to adult things.
Yeah. So yeah, my wife and I are buying a new house, and in preparing the current house to sell and getting all of our stuff packed and all the challenges that are going to come with that, and doing some remodeling, I'm going to need to take for sure the month of August off. And then after that point, I hope that Patrick and I can jump back into it and start banking up some episodes, recording, get a couple episodes recorded and ready to release when we come back. That way we've got plenty of episodes for you. So
yeah, and we'll kind of be back with the drastically under appreciated Inner Space.
Not Interstellar.
Not Interstellar. See, you didn't even know the name of the movie. That's how unappreciated it is.
Yeah, we should be back. I'd like I said, I'd like to release, get a couple episodes built up, and then we should be back with, for sure, Interstellar, and then
Inner Space. Jeez. You didn't do it once during the show.
Yeah,
you did it like 5 times.
Like I said, we'll be back with Inner Space, and then RoboCop, Superman 4, The Quest for Peace, and then I'm pretty excited about Masters of the Universe.
We got Akira in there somewhere.
Yeah, it'll be after, because that'll be our one and only movie from 1988.
Okay.
Unless I was actually looking at, I was like, what about Willow? I looked it up to see when it came out, and it actually comes out in 88. So we could add it to the list.
Okay, I've never seen it. I have no idea what it's about.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, then I'm adding it.
I don't...
No. How did you grow up without seeing Willow? That's shocking.
I probably thought it was like Wookiees or something. I don't know.
I mean, it is a George Lucas production.
Yeah. Is it the one with Warwick Davis?
Yes.
Yeah. I've seen snippets, but I've never seen the movie itself.
So I was kind of thinking we should add that to the list. But I mean, because we don't have a lot of fantasy movies, but I think this one would easily fit into to everything else we've got going on. So
I'm hoping I can take a big old steamy dump on your childhood then. I have no idea what it is.
Okay.
We'll see how it is.
Yeah. All right. So we'll when we come back, we'll have hopefully a couple episodes to come back with. So for sure, though, we'll be back with Inner Space. But like I said, taking the month of August off, and then I'm not sure how much more time we'll need, after that. But you will hear from us again.
Yeah. So just stay out of trouble, okay?